All right. Classic question where you can either isolate the variables or rearrange it the way that they're asking us to, or we can plug in our own values. Let's try plugging in our own values here because that's probably the most practical. And we think about a over b equals 2. So what is the value of 4b over a? Well, what divided by what would give us 2? What's the easiest numbers we can come up with? They're not even giving us restrictions here, right? They're not telling us it has to be greater than a certain number or less than a certain number. So let's keep this very simple. A can equal 4 and b will equal 2. I want b to be a smaller number so that way, well, it equals 2 when it's divided. And so now that we can see that 4 over 2 indeed equals 2, we know that we got the right values, and we can plug that into this equation right here. So 4 multiplied by b, which is now 2, over a, which we now see as 4. Well, this cancels out, and you're just left with 2, or you can just see it as 8 over 4, which is 2, and that's why the answer is C. Alternatively, we can now practice. This is a good practice problem. Like, let's say you got this down. Don't do this on test day, or just do this if this is your instinct for it. It's being able to rearrange this to look the way that the SAT is asking you to arrange it. Because sometimes you're going to have problems that are going to ask you to do that, and it's not so easy to plug in your own values. This would be the easier way to do it. So if A over b equals 2, and I'm looking at this, what they want us to have, well, they want b and a to be, on the, flipped essentially, with some numbers attached to it. So, all right, what would that look like? Well, at least if we got b over a, we know that we'd be looking at 1/2, because technically this is just 2 over 1. So if we just flip b over a, we end up with 1/2. And then what we see is that it's 4b over a. So what we're doing is we're multiplying the top by 4. So 4 over 1, but whatever we do to one side, we would be doing to the other. So if we want b to be 4b, we multiply by that 4. So then we end up having 4b over a, which is what we want, is equal to 4 over 2, which equals 2. And that brings us back to C.